Yes.
Yeah, Steve Zeltzer, United Public Workers for Action. You said that you've done these tests or you've hired a company. Tetra Tech has now 2 managers who are in prison right now for falsifying testing. And Tetra Tech was involved in Treasure Island. So how do you know that these tests that you did, or Tetra Tech did, are correct investigations, since the Navy and the EPA have both said that there was massive falsification of testing in Hunters Point shipyard? That's the first question.
So I can answer that question. Your question was, how can we trust the data collected on Treasure Island because Tetra Tech was here working on the island? Is that correct? Okay. So
And two managers are in prison right now. Yeah. So how do you justify that that's factually correct, your results from your testing?
Let her answer.
sure. So the answer to that question is the contractor, the subsidiary of Tetra Tech EC, that was involved in the falsification of radiological data on Hunters Point only performed a limited amount of work here on Treasure Island. We know exactly what that work was. And we are confident in the decisions made because we have gone back and looked at the decisions that were made from that work. And we don't have any information that suggests that any of that data was falsified or otherwise suspect.
Well, they're Tetra Tech. I have 2 more questions. They're Tetra Tech workers.
Can you frame yours as a question?
Yeah, it is a question. They're Tetra Tech workers who I interviewed who said that they worked at Treasure Island and the same kind of falsifications were going on here that were going on at Hunters Point shipyard.
That's not a question.
Yeah, that was, so that's a question. Well, the second question was, Test America was also involved in the testing here at Treasure Island. Michael Mabry, who was a quality assurance manager for Test America, said that the tests had been falsified by the company, and he reported that, the tests that Test America were doing. He was fired, and OSHA investigator Daryl Whitman, who investigated that, was also terminated from his job. So the question of falsification, not only of Tetra Tech is involved here, but also, are you aware about Test America's test here on Treasure Island and what happened with those testing results?
I cannot speak right now to any specific instances of Tetra Tech, Test America performing analytical work. The discussion you're having about the other workers at Test America, I'm not sure how that applies directly to Treasure Island. I can say Test America is a large laboratory facility. They do testing all across the U.S. And I think it would stand to reason that Test America did perform some analytical work, but we have no reason to question the work that they performed.
The last question is, on this testing that you've done, you say you've done radiological testing, have you done a survey of statistics of the residents here at Treasure Island, the cancers and other toxins and illnesses that they've had on Treasure Island as a result, they claim, of serious problems of radiation and toxics in the environment here? Have there been any surveys about the residents here who themselves say they've been contaminated, they've been sickened, or are very ill, them and their children, as a result of living on Treasure Island?
So you're asking if the Navy has performed any surveys of people who have been sick. The Navy themselves have not performed surveys. However, there are other agencies who have that responsibility for protecting public health who have performed those surveys. I believe there's documents circa 2014 where I believe is the California Cancer Prevention Institute, also ASTDR, looked at instances of cancer and evaluated it and found that it wasn't any different than the background population. And I'm not a public health officer, and I think the best person to really answer your question, if somebody has a concern about their health, is to go to someone involved with public health, either San Francisco Department of Public Health or DTSC or CDPH, and address those questions.